Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, I'm outside today, and let's see if you can see this. I got this little fire going here. I'm trying to burn up all the sticks in my yard. And now that it's warm, and I really don't need the heat, now I'm making a fire. How about that? So today I'm going to talk about this video I saw. Maybe just about the topic, really. Jeffrey MacArthur posted a video called, I think I'm saying it right, "Be Professional, Be Polite, and Have a Plan to Kill Everyone You Meet." And when I saw that title, I smiled in identification, and it's a good video. And certainly not all role-playing games deal with, combats and fights all the time. Most of them have it in there somewhere. There's some potential for violence or, conflict resolution, which isn't necessarily based on dialogue. But even if it is based on dialogue, this still kind of applies to a certain extent. I think most of us start a role-playing game career treating the world, whatever game world it is, in kind of black and white terms. I'm just kind of looking at the fire to make sure I don't get burned to death. You let me know if my clothes catch on fire. I'm sitting kind of close. It's black and white terms. We're one of the good guys. The members of our adventuring party, whatever group of people we're involved in, well, those are the good guys. If we have a benefactor, he's one of the good guys. If we're hired by somebody, they're one of the good guys. If we're aligned with a cause, they're the good guys. Now, some part of the world, well, they're the bad guys. Maybe they're the people we're investigating, the people we're going up against or sneaking around, maybe trying to take their stuff. No matter what the role-playing game is, there's the bad guys. And so we put people into those two different camps, and if we're prepared to kill or otherwise deal severely with anybody, it's the bad guys. And then at some point, if it didn't happen for us, right off the bat, we start to realize that people may be duplicitous, that we don't always take things at face value, that perhaps we need to be cautious. Maybe not paranoid, maybe we do get paranoid, but we start to become suspicious. And we realize that everything is not what it seems, and we should have some kind of plan for dealing with people. At least, if not a plan, just the willingness to. I love what Ron Edwards did in Circle of Hands, just with the text around it, like how to play the game. The idea that he called the combat chapter "Killing," and he talks about making conscious effort to kill somebody else, to take matters into your own hands, to do what might not necessarily be pleasant, but what you decide must be done at that particular time. So, I dig that vibe. But I was thinking about it too. This is kind of a multi-layered topic when it comes right down to it. Because, back up a little bit. At some point as a player, I became aware that the world might not be what I thought it was. My character, on the other hand, well, this can vary. I could be playing a character that's very suspicious, very willing to, like as Jeffrey said, be a warrior. So who's always going to have some kind of plan to kill everybody he meets. Kind of, and not necessarily a plan. He's certainly willing to. However, I might be playing a character who's naive, or maybe fanatically loyal. In the all-for-one game, I'm never going to have a plan to kill the king. And I'm probably not going to have a plan to kill Cardinal Richelieu, too, because even though he's a jerk, he's the cardinal. You just don't do that. So as a player, there could be this dichotomy between the player and your character, where now all of a sudden, as a player, and on a metagame sense, for lack of a better word, you certainly don't trust a game master. You don't trust anybody. But you have to role-play your character who might. And that can be kind of interesting. But at the end of the day, I certainly know where Jeffrey's coming from, and I play that way an awful lot. I certainly have that plan to deal with whomever I meet. I think what I tend to do as a gamer, kind of unconsciously, is view everybody I meet in the game world as either a potential obstacle or a potential resource. Now, that sounds horrible, but we're talking about a game here when it comes right down to it. So you always have that going on in the back of your mind, no matter what kind of role-playing you're doing. And so, if not overtly, I'm not overtly like paranoid or using them as resources or obstacles that must be removed, but there's kind of this implicit or tacit understanding somewhere in the back of my mind. That's I'm willing to do that, willing to play, willing to do what must be done at a given point in time. Either you're with me, you're for me, or you're against me. So I found that to be a very interesting topic, and of course it's all about subtlety too. You could, of course, play the character who's obviously very paranoid and very aggressive, but you could just, play somebody. I mean, heck, like Jeffrey said, it doesn't mean just because you're willing to kill anybody and have a plan to kill everybody doesn't mean you actually do that. You may play a very nice guy. You're just not stupid. So that's all I've got to say about that.